Get this. AI, the tech that has everyone buzzing, might actually be greener than us humans.
Really?
For certain tasks, I know, right? Sounds counterintuitive, but it's exactly what we're diving into today.
Okay.
We've got this fascinating scientific paper comparing the carbon emissions of AI systems like ChatGPT, Bloom, DALL-E2, Midjourney, with humans doing the same writing and illustration tasks.
So it really challenges how we usually think about AI as this energy hog, doesn't it?
Totally. So our mission for this deep dive is to uncover the key findings of this research
Okay.
and see what it tells us about AI's environmental impact. Is it a climate villain, or could it be a secret weapon in the fight for a greener future?
Okay, let's unpack it.
Okay.
Even at the most basic level, we need to remember that everything we do has a carbon footprint.
Right.
You, me, even that AI writing marketing copy, we all emit CO2e.
CO2, that stands for carbon dioxide equivalent, right?
Yep.
It's how we measure the overall climate impact of different activities.
Yeah.
For
Exactly. And this study, did something really interesting. It quantified the CO2e impact of humans and AI.
Well,
For writing and illustration tasks, think about it, like a writer working on their laptop fueled by coffee and inspiration.
yeah.
They're generating more than just words, they're also producing emissions.
Right.
Now picture an AI effortlessly crafting text with a much smaller CO2e cloud kind of hovering above it.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going. So what did the study actually find? Give me the juicy details.
Buckle up, because the findings are pretty striking.
Okay.
The research shows that AI systems are significantly more efficient when it comes to emissions.
Uh-huh.
Per page of text or image created, we're talking a huge E difference in CO2e.
Okay, hold on. How huge are we talking here? Give me some numbers.
AI writing is whopping 130 to 1,500 times less impactful than a human writer.
Wow.
And when it comes to illustration, it's even more dramatic, 310 to 2,900 times less impactful than a human artist. Let those figures sink in for a second.
Wow, those numbers are blowing my mind. That's way more significant than I ever imagined. What's the secret sauce here?
Yeah.
Why is AI so much more efficient for these tasks?
That's where things get really interesting. The researchers went deep into the energy consumption of both AI and humans.
Okay.
They looked at the energy needed to train an AI system,
Uh-huh.
kind of like giving it a massive education.
Yeah.
And the energy used for each individual query, like when you ask it to write a poem or create an image.
So training is like the upfront investment, and queries are the day-to-day running costs.
Exactly. Then they compared that to the overall carbon footprint of a human writer or illustrator, considering their entire lifestyle.
Okay.
Think about it. The energy used to manufacture a laptop, the food a writer consumes, their daily commute, it all adds up.
It's like comparing a single high-powered machine to a whole network of interconnected systems, right?
Precisely. And here's the mind-blowing part. The study found that even the electricity used to power a human's computer for the duration of writing a single page produces more CO2e than the AI generating the same amount of text.
Are you serious? Just powering my laptop is worse for the environment than the AI writing this very script.
It really highlights how much energy we consume without realizing it.
That's wild.
And here's a cool anecdote. The authors actually used AI to help write the paper itself.
Oh, wow.
Talk about walking the walk. They truly believe in AI's potential to reduce environmental impact.
Okay, before we get too carried away with the possibilities, let's pause for a moment
Absolutely.
and let all this sink in. This is a lot to process.
Take a moment to reflect on your own energy use, your daily choices, and how they all contribute to your environmental footprint. We'll be back in a jiffy to explore this further.
All right, my brain is still buzzing from those eye-opening stats about AI's efficiency.
Yeah.
But we've only scratched the surface, right? There's got to be more to this story.
Absolutely. We've talked about the energy used during specific tasks, but
Right.
to really get the full picture, we need to kind of zoom out and consider the entire life cycle of both AI and human creativity.
Okay, break that down for me. What exactly does life cycle encompass in this context?
For AI, it starts with the resources needed to build and train those incredibly complex models.
Okay.
Imagine the massive data sets, the intricate algorithms, and yes, those energy-intensive data centers we often hear about.
Right, those data centers are like the brains of the operation, crunching numbers day and night.
Exactly. And then there's the energy used for each individual query, though as we've seen, that's surprisingly low compared to humans.
Right.
Finally, we have to factor in the eventual decommissioning of hardware and the whole e-waste issue.
So even though AI might be super efficient on a task-by-task basis,
Yeah.
There are still environmental costs associated with its creation and disposal. Makes sense.
Hmm.
But what about the life cycle of a human writer or illustrator? How do you even begin to measure that?
It's definitely more complex because it involves so many interconnected factors.
Yeah.
We're talking a person's education, their lifestyle choices, their consumption patterns,
Right.
basically everything that contributes to their overall carbon footprint.
It's like trying to measure the environmental impact of, well, just being human.
Right.
But somehow the researchers managed to quantify these very different life cycles.
They did, and what's remarkable is that even when you consider the entire life cycle,
Okay.
from creation to disposal, AI still comes out ahead in terms of environmental impact for writing and illustration.
Wow. You know what? This whole conversation is making me reconsider my own energy use. I never really thought about the environmental cost
Right.
of something as simple as writing an email or sketching a design.
It's easy to overlook those everyday actions, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they all add up.
Yeah.
That's why this research is so important. It's making us aware of the hidden environmental costs of things we often take for granted.
Okay, so we've established that AI can be more efficient in some areas.
Right.
But let's be real, we can't ignore the potential downsides, right? What about the concerns surrounding job displacement and the ethical implications of AI?
Absolutely. Those are valid concerns. If AI becomes the go-to for certain creative tasks,
Yeah.
what happens to the human writers and illustrators? It's a question we need to address head on.
Exactly. It's not just about efficiency, it's about the human impact as well.
Think about it this way. There was a time when scribes meticulously copied texts by hand.
Right.
Then came the printing press, which revolutionized the way we produce and consume information.
Mm-hmm.
It disrupted industries, yes, but it also created new opportunities
Yeah.
and ultimately led to a more literate society.
So are you suggesting that AI could lead to a similar kind of transformation in the creative industries?
It's certainly possible, and that's why it's crucial to approach this transition thoughtfully.
Right.
We need to find ways to leverage the strengths of AI while ensuring that human creativity and livelihoods are not left behind.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act.
It is, but I believe that human ingenuity is up to the challenge.
Yeah.
Instead of viewing AI as a threat, what if we see it as a powerful tool for collaboration?
Like a creative partner that can help us push the boundaries of what's possible
Exactly.
while also reducing our environmental impact.
Exactly. Imagine a writer working alongside AI to brainstorm ideas, experiment with different writing styles, or even receive real-time feedback and suggestions.
Wow.
Or an illustrator using AI to explore new color palettes, textures,
Right.
or compositions they might not have considered before.
It's like having a supercharged brainstorming buddy,
Right.
but one that's also environmentally conscious.
Precisely. And this collaborative approach could lead to not only more efficient creative processes, but also entirely new forms of art and expression that we can't even imagine yet.
Now, I'm no tech expert, but I do know that collaboration requires communication.
Yeah.
And humans and AI don't always speak the same language, so how do we bridge that gap?
That's a key hurdle for sure.
Yeah.
We need to develop intuitive interfaces and ways of interacting with AI
Yeah.
that feel natural and seamless. We need to teach AI to understand not just our words,
Right.
but also our creative intentions, our emotions, and our artistic visions.
It's like learning to dance with a new partner.
Yeah.
There's bound to be some awkward steps at first,
Yeah.
but with practice, you can move together in sync and create something beautiful.
What a perfect analogy. And just like learning to dance,
Yeah.
learning to collaborate with AI will require patience, experimentation, and a willingness to embrace new ways of thinking and creating.
Okay, my brain is doing somersaults trying to imagine all the possibilities here.
Right.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the nitty-gritty of AI's carbon footprint to this exciting vision of human-AI collaboration.
We have. Why don't we give you a moment to process all this, and we'll come back with some final thoughts to ponder.
Okay, I think I've caught my breath. This whole deep dive has been a whirlwind of information and insights.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think that AI, something we often associate with energy-guzzling data centers,
Right.
could actually be a force for good in the fight against climate change.
It really flips the script on how we typically view AI, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that technology is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for better or for worse,
Right.
depending on our choices.
Absolutely. And this research gives us a starting point. It shows us that AI can be surprisingly efficient in certain areas.
Right.
And it challenges us to think creatively about how we can leverage its strengths to address pressing global challenges like climate change.
You know, it's funny. When we first started this deep dive, I was focused on the potential downsides of AI like job displacement and ethical concerns.
Yeah.
But now I'm feeling a sense of cautious optimism.
Mm-hmm.
What if, instead of fearing AI, we embrace its potential to help us create a more sustainable and equitable future?
I share that optimism,
Yeah.
but it's important to remember that AI is still a relatively new technology, and we're only just beginning to understand its full capabilities and
But
implications.
where do we go from here?
Huh?
How do we navigate this uncharted territory
Yeah.
and ensure that AI is used for good?
I think the key is to foster open and honest conversations about AI's impact on society.
Okay.
We need to bring together diverse voices, artists, scientists, policymakers, ethicists, everyday citizens
Right.
to discuss the challenges and opportunities that AI presents.
It's about creating a shared vision for the future, one where AI is used responsibly and ethically to address the issues that matter most.
Exactly. And it's not just about having these conversations at the global level. It starts with each of us.
Okay.
As you go about your day, think about the ways you interact with AI, even in the smallest ways. Ask yourself, how is this technology shaping my world?
There you.
And what role do I want it to play in the future?
That's a powerful question for our listeners to ponder because at the end of the day, the future of AI isn't predetermined.
Yeah.
It's something we're actively creating through our choices and actions.
Well said. So let's keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah.
and keep imagining the possibilities because with a bit of foresight and collaboration, we can harness the power of AI to create a brighter, more sustainable future for all.
This deep dive into AI's carbon footprint has been truly eye-opening. Thanks for joining us. And remember, the future of AI is in our hands.